your grace that leads the sinner home from death to life forever.
Well, I'm back.
Let it go! Or I'll have you, long shanks!
This is a little series on Sunday worship from the guitar. I'm sharing guitar fundamentals, arrangement ideas, some theology, all toward the goal of empowering and enriching congregational singing. So if you're into that, if that's something that you are excited about, I'm glad you're here. You're in the right place. And I'd love to hear what you're thinking about it all. Hit me up in the comments. If you're someone who's been in contexts where congregational singing is not the focus, is not kind of the mission, then I'd love to hear from you too. Now today I want to talk about when not to play. Sounds counterintuitive. We practiced to come and play, we showed up to play, we paid to play, we're here to play.
I know you playing.
But there is this thing in music, which is the balance between when you play and when you don't play, what you put into the space and when you just leave there, let there be space in the music and the sound. This relationship is crucial to great music, having both the music, the notes, the parts that are there, and then having the moments without those things. Do we get the interplay between the two things? Now, the big idea is that in loads of circumstances, you can play a lot less than you think you can. You can leave more space than you think you should. And when you do, it'll be great. It will have a really good effect.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
Why spell out something so simple? Because it's hard to do. It's not intuitive. And we think that space actually is, it feels vulnerable. It feels exposed. And so we tend in music to cover the space, to sort of fill it all in. You might have heard sometimes people talking about things being full. It's not very full. So what do you need to do? You need to play. You need to add more. And sometimes that is needed. But oftentimes it's just that we're not comfortable with space. We've not practiced and we've not become familiar with what it feels like to leave intentional holes in what we're playing, or breaks or pauses or space. It's one of the hardest things to learn in music is to leave space, to stop playing. But the space we create when we don't play is what helps to make sense of what we do play. I always think about conversation when I'm thinking about this aspect of music. Conversations that don't have any space are exhausting. When no one pauses to think or to listen, when both people are talking constantly, these conversations actually take more than they give. And something very similar happens in music. If we're always playing, or if each member of a band is always playing, like at the same time, we end up with a musical equivalent of an exhausting conversation. It's exhausting to participate in, and it's also exhausting to listen in. Have you ever listened in to a conversation where no one is listening, but everyone is talking? And even if you were a motivated listener, say you're participating or you're listening in, even if you were really invested in the conversation, it would be difficult to profit from a conversation like that because it's hard to distinguish between what's being said, between all the sounds and the noises. If everything is just a wall of sound, without any pauses, without any space to think or listen, then it's very difficult to profit from that. The best conversations have both speaking and listening, speech and silence, and the best music has playing and space and silence.
Skadoosh.
This applies really directly to musicians playing in a band on Sunday in worship. They can all be thinking about when they should be playing and when they should be pausing, giving space. But I also like to think about how this relates to the congregation and those who are playing. The conversation going on between the congregation and the musicians or the song leaders. I don't want, for example, as a song leader, to speak over the top of the congregation. I don't want to always be playing and always singing and kind of bearing down upon the congregation without ever giving them a moment to sing back, to have their moment of responding to what I'm doing. I've got two ways in which I do this. The first one is the first verse. Now, the first verse of a song on Sunday is really a golden opportunity for several things. But one thing that can be done is space can be provided to really invite the congregation into their singing. So everything is about the congregational voice. As I've said, this is my mission. It's what I'm excited about, empowering and enriching the congregational voice. And the first verse is really the moment to open up a space and invite the congregation in, to hear themselves and to find their voice. So what I do almost consistently is I will play very little in the first verse of the first song on Sunday, and maybe the first verse of most songs.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
It jumped up a notch.
It did, didn't it?
Let's take Grace, City of Light. So if we put this to time, which the original isn't, we can hear that we've got a downbeat and a backbeat. We've got 1, 3, like that. Now the first thing I do in the first verse is I want to get rid of my backbeat, which would sound like this. Your grace that leads the sinner home from death to life forever, and sings the song of righteousness by blood and not by merit, by grace. Now, let me show you how it could be with that backbeat filled in with my guitar. Your grace that leads the sinner home from death to life forever, and sings the song of righteousness by blood and not by merit. So that's the backbeat filled in. That's the one with more music in the spaces. But the one I want, I'm going to leave that backbeat empty. Space. Your grace that leads the sinner home from death to life forever. Now, when a congregation, you might be able to feel that even here, just with my voice and my guitar. I think you can feel it. That space creates a sort of, vibe might be the best word. It creates a feeling. It creates an atmosphere. And it allows the singing to really be exposed, but in a good way. We want the singing to be exposed because that's what we're all about. Now, when a congregation is attached to that, your grace that leads the sinner home, the lingering of the different voices and the resonance in the room of those voices without any music on those beats is really magic. Another handy thing that this can do is it can give you a chance as the leader or as the band to just check where the tempo is. If the tempo is right for the congregation, they will tend to be on the slower side, but that's not a bad thing. We want the congregation to be comfortable so that they can sing well. And giving plenty of space on the first line, particularly of a verse, your grace that leads the sinner home. It gives us a chance to just detect where are they at. Are we too fast, or are we tracking along the same tempo? This makes me think of dynamics because once we're doing this sort of thing, it means we've got less going on in a particular part of the song, which means we can have more going on in other parts of the songs. The thing about a conversation where everyone's always talking is that there isn't much of a shape to that. There isn't much of a journey that conversation goes on. And the same in music. If everyone is always playing from the jump through to the end, there's not much of a journey that we can take in terms of our dynamics. But if we begin playing as little as possible, and in particular leaving the backbeats out, your grace that leads the sinner home from death to life forever. When the chorus comes and I bring in that backbeat, I fill in some of the space, we get a dynamic shift. We move up in energy as the song progresses. By blood and not by merit, by grace I am redeemed, by grace I am restored, and now I freely walk into the arms of Christ my Lord. Drop it out again. grace that I cannot explain. I would be inclined to just keep doing that, to drop out the backbeats, come back in dynamics in the verses so that the choruses can go somewhere. So this is also related to dynamics as well.